Hello and welcome to All Important Words, the podcast that helps learners of English master the academic word list. This is Bek
and Jim.
And we've got another important word for you today. Jim, why don't you tell us what the word is?
Bek, today's word is exhibit. Exhibit. And before we tell you anything more about it, just take a moment and guess the spelling of this word. How do you think it's spelled? Can you picture it in your mind? The spelling is E-X-H-I-B-I-T. Exhibit.
That's right. An exhibit can be used both as a verb and a noun, right?
Yes, that's right.
And as I understand it, both the verb and the noun forms have the same pronunciation. It is exhibit, with the stress on the second syllable. Exhibit. And the pronunciation is the same in both British and American English, right?
Exactly, Bek. Now, as a verb, the most common meaning of exhibit is to show something, like a painting, in a public place so that people can go see it. So an example sentence might be, the Museum of Fine Arts is going to exhibit some of Da Vinci's most famous works. They'll be exhibiting some of his paintings and drawings.
So in other words, they'll be showing them to the public?
Right. Exhibit, in this sense, means to show something publicly for people to see. That's why we often use exhibit with words such as painting and artwork. We say exhibit a painting, exhibit artwork, exhibit photographs, etc.
And exhibiting is something that museums do?
Absolutely. A museum can exhibit artwork, an art gallery can exhibit paintings, a photographer can exhibit his photographs. These are all words that go together frequently with exhibit when it's used as a verb in this sense of to show something publicly.
Any other meanings as a verb, Jim?
Indeed. Exhibit can also mean to show a particular quality or characteristic, or in the case of people, to show a particular emotion. For example, many of the animal species found in the Galapagos Islands exhibit unusual characteristics that aren't found anywhere else in the world.
So, in other words, you can see these characteristics on the animals themselves or in their behavior.
Exactly. If something is exhibited, it means it's visible. We can see it. But keep in mind, this second use of exhibit is formal. Most of our listeners probably would only ever use exhibit in this way in academic writing, not in conversational English. You wouldn't ever say to a close friend, "What's wrong? You exhibit illness." That sounds really strange because, as I said, this is a formal word. Instead, you'd say to your friend, "What's wrong? You look sick," or something like that.
Got it. So it sounds like in the second sense of exhibit, some collocations are characteristic, behavior, symptoms, and signs.
That's right. All of those things can be exhibited. Now, Bek, how about giving us a use of exhibit as a noun?
My pleasure. It's very similar actually to the verb usage. The most basic meaning as a noun is something like a painting that's put in a public place for people to go see. For example, earlier we mentioned Da Vinci's artworks at the museum. We could say, the museum has a Da Vinci exhibit until the end of the month. Or, there is an exhibit of Da Vinci's paintings at the Museum of Fine Art this month.
And is this use of exhibit as a noun countable?
Yes, you can talk about exhibits in the plural. For example, that new art gallery features exhibits by exciting young artists.
Great, thanks, Bek. Now, how about giving us one more example sentence for exhibit as a verb to help us remember?
Well, these days a lot of American university students are exhibiting more signs of stress. There was a story in the newspaper the other day saying that psychologists on college campuses are seeing more patients suffering from stress. They're exhibiting symptoms like sleep problems and stomach pain, and they're getting sick more often. Students are exhibiting all these signs of increased stress.
Great. I mean, not great that college students are stressed out, but great example.
Thanks. And how about you give us one more example for the word as a noun?
Sure. I was thinking about my nieces in Boston who like to go to the Museum of Science because of all the fun exhibits. For example, they've got an exhibit showing how lightning is made. They have another exhibit where you can operate a robotic arm. And all of these exhibits at the Museum of Science are fun and educational.
Excellent. So podcast listeners, that's your word for today. If you want to find out more about the word exhibit or other words covered on the podcast, remember to look them up in a good learner's dictionary, like the Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English, which is where we get some of the definitions used in the show.
You'll find a link to the Longman Dictionary at our website, along with a lot of other interesting stuff at allimportantwords.com. That's AWL, importantwords.com.
And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.